Welcome to the Restoring Balance podcast, where two lifelong friends get together to rewatch and discuss why they love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jim. Today, we're discussing Book 1, Episode 5, The King of Omashu.
It's really nice to find the time to do this. We must do it more often.
I've actually had enough.
We're ending the pod right now. I'm sick and tired of it.
Yeah, tough stuff.
I don't think of this episode as one of the greats. That's how I felt beforehand. I wouldn't say I was dreading watching it, but I'm like, it might be skip worthy.
Yeah, it's not a popular one. But I did find myself noting a lot more than I thought I would.
I gave it a chance, and I saw some stuff too.
Yeah, it's like funny.
The cough.
Yeah, definitely excellently timed coughs.
Oh, Kangaroo Island, eh? I hear that place is really hopping.
Do they abandon that motif for the rest of the show? Like,
I
just
think
for this
so.
one episode, they have awkward coughs during silent moments.
I could be convinced they do it a little bit more, but I can't think of any other time.
This episode is like dense with establishing things.
Yeah,
I feel
it does feel a little bit rushed sometimes, but you're right. It is dense. Like they get through all the things that it feels like that they wanted to get through.
I think this one was just a touch too rushed for reintroducing a lost childhood friend, an entire Earth kingdom. Like all we got to see is the palace, a cave underground, and the exterior mail system.
You know what about this city though? In both this time and the season 2 time, you notice like it's in its own little mountain surrounded by a deep abyss of just
What's the story behind that? Who carved that out?
Yeah, I don't know. Badger moles.
Bedroom moles.
Later on, King Booby, during the eclipse, he retakes his city and he just takes that giant metal statue of Ozai and sends it straight down into that abyss. You know, you get your outer shot of the city, and every time it just reminds you that this city has only one walkway.
Makes sense. It's highly defensible.
Yeah.
Especially from non-Earthbenders. Fire Nation can't get in. That's why it stood for so long, maybe. The one city's got the wall, one's got the moat.
That could be a message that the writers are trying to indirectly make clear.
They take their security seriously.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they certainly do when they're walking in.
They throw the cabbages off a cliff.
The people here are the friendliest in the world.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
My man is hanging a giant boulder over Aang when they're walking in.
Yeah, what he sees is an old man walking towards him, and so he picks up a boulder and holds it over his head.
Insane. Mr. Pippin Paddleopsicopoulos himself.
The third. Pipsin Paddleopsicopoulos. The third.
And Katara absolutely nails it. Steps right in. Pronounces it perfect.
Nice to meet you, June Pipsin Paddleopsicopoulos.
Yep. Uh-huh. Sokka's just back there like useless right now. But he's grown. We're going to get there with him. It is a little bit out of character for him to not say anything, I feel like, though. When they enter the city and they start talking about Boomy's backstory, that flashback to Aang's old friend Boomy. As like goofy as he is and the trouble that they got into, I always wonder when that flashback comes up, like how he became king.
Yeah.
Because later after that flashback, we do get to meet the king. And obviously, having seen it before, I know that it's the guy that we just saw the flashback for. I'll be honest, I don't remember knowing sooner than the end of the episode when they reveal it.
On the first watch?
Yeah, I don't think I got it.
They pulled the wool over my eyes for sure.
Really?
I mean, I was like 15 or 13. I don't even know when it happened, but they tricked me. I remember. I was like, no way.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed watching it back now.
It's kind of obvious.
But yeah, what I was getting ready to say is like, I wonder how he became the king.
Was he a noble? Yeah, when he was a kid? Like, because if he was like a noble or he was the prince already, then obviously that's how he did it. He ascended.
Right.
But if he acts like a peasant or a normal person, you know, because he's all dirty, he doesn't care, he's riding the mail system. That's what he acts like. It reminds you of like a street kid, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe he was just a noble the whole time.
Yeah. Honestly, talking about it makes me have an appreciation for their not revealing it. Because, like, whether he was any of those things to have made it there, it seems to me that he deserved it. I mean, my man he's good at what he does.
Well, first off, he's absolutely shredded.
He's
Even at 100 and something.
Yeah, he is.
That's crazy.
Right. Forgot about that. Yeah, and he's good at what he does. Strong, smart, tactical.
Yeah.
Member of the Order of the White Lotus. He's doing it. Good leader.
He grew into a great man.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the first example of expert earthbending we've seen in the show.
Yeah,
he brought it to a whole nother level in that duel with Aang. It was like the fights in Naruto, just whipping out all these techniques and things you've never seen before, you know? Like that one move where he put his fists to his hips, and then he did like a weird inward turned foot duck walk to make boulders erupt from the ground.
Yeah.
I was like, how'd they get the inspiration for that? Because it just feels right to me. I don't know. I like that. I was like, oh, okay. And the way he pulverizes all the boulders, like he's launching, because he pulls a boulder towards him. Aang dodges out of the way, and then he pulverizes it with his hand, and it looks sick, and we haven't seen anything like that in the show. He's seeing a real master. He hasn't seen any masters. The greatest bending we've seen has been Aang in the Avatar state, and this is rivaling that, in a sense. Especially when he lifted the entire viewing area to throw it at Aang.
I do remember being torn up that he was as like ripped as he was. I thought that was a good twist in the episode to be like, you thought you were clever. Like, that was the wrong choice, brother.
I choose you.
Wrong choice.
And, you know, I talking about his Bumi's intelligence, like, I think he purposefully left it open-ended and tried to lead him to make that choice, which he did for all the other choices. Even the feast could have been an excuse to see if this person that looks just like his old friend and wearing this airbender clothing is in fact an airbender, is to try and get him to eat meat first.
For sure, that's why I did it. But
yeah,
honestly, you see your old friend perfectly the same as you once knew them. It's like, he's definitely just screwing with Aang the whole time. Like, he knows it's Aang.
When they're presented to Bumi, I recognized the guard to have the same voice as Sokka's and Katara's dad, Hakoda.
Your Majesty, these juveniles were arrested for vandalism, traveling under false pretenses, and malicious destruction of cabbages.
Off with their heads! One for each head of cabbage!
Silence!
You've made it like a study of yours to like figure out people's voices. Whenever we watch something and you hear like a twinge that sounds sort of like another character, to me at least, I'm like, nah, no way. And then it turns out you were right, and it was a minor character from a different show we had watched before. It's insane.
Yeah, man. Gotta remember them people. It's fun for me.
Little game.
Definitely a little game. But he's also in that still shot when they're coming down the chute in their first mail ride or whatever, where it freezes and Aang's like kicking Katara in the face and Sokka's like in the back racing for dear life. Right before that freeze frame, you get that same guard character.
Oh, same voice, huh?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Men, you'll be going off to combat soon. It's important that you be prepared for anything.
Which, I mean, I could easily even see Hakoda saying the same thing.
All the trials remind me of a Pokemon gym. I was wondering what you thought about that. The sculpted battleground that they're fighting on. How there are even monsters in there, like what was his name?
Flopsy,
and then whatever that bunny was. Like, they were even sort of like Pokemon. Even the palace itself, because it was pretty nondescript and undecorated. Like, it was very vague the way they painted the backgrounds, and I feel like that's sort of how in the Pokemon games, there's not a lot of detail because there's like really low res old games mostly. I haven't played the newer ones, obviously,
I wonder if they did that to make it feel like, yeah, they just bent these walls up into place. There's no pictures on the walls when you just move some rock up.
That's sort of how I felt about it. I gave them a pass because the entire city is just tan stone.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, well, they're obviously industrial people and they can change the architecture pretty easily with earthbending. So maybe they don't invest as heavily in decorations. They've got a few things. They've got some like banners that have the Earth Kingdom symbol and stuff like that.
Right.
Honestly, the nicest place was the newly refurbished bad prisoners room.
Dude, I love it when a show takes the time to just like,
Of people messing around and being goofy.
yeah, like it just makes the world feel that much more real. And the characters feel that much more fleshed out. It's just fun to do that in real life, of course. And if you get your animated characters to do the same, like it just really does it for me. I'm a big fan. Just continuing some useless conversation because, like, why not?
I still quote lettuce leave, like in my mind and out loud. Do I still say that to you?
Yes.
Whenever I hear, I say it like I'm the cause of it. I say lettuce leave, but like I mean like a leaf of lettuce. That has stuck with me. I forgot it was from Avatar. I just have it in my mind like I say lettuce leave when it's time to go, and I think of lettuce.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I've kept it with me all this time.
It's in here as just like a quick little like dad joke type thing. And you've always loved playing with words more than most.
I'm a word bender.
Yeah. Hate that. But you definitely are. He says no take backsies.
I'm a fan of takesies backsies, personally.
That feels like another like dumb little thing, similar to the dragging out a refurbished chamber, but it's a little bit more purposeful humor, and I like it. I'm all about that kind of humor.
I mean, it's to fill in Boomy's character, right?
Yeah. At the same time, though, for him, he proclaims himself to be the most powerful earthbender you'll ever see.
Yeah, that is what he says.
That echoes towards Toph later down the road.
Is Toph stronger?
Dude.
She's like...
Toph is broken.
Toph is crazy inventive.
I'll give Boomy power, as he says.
He picked up that whole thing. Does Toph pick up stuff like that? I just don't remember.
I don't think so.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Is that what we mean by powerful? With his chin, he frees himself.
That's what I think we're going with by powerful here.
So he might be more powerful. Toph's better, I'd say.
She is the greatest earthbender in the world.
But the thing is, she's a child, too, when we know her. She grows up, too.
Oh, my God. She's so sick.
And we don't get to see what she does.
This setting that we're in, whether it's explicitly pointed out or not, the moat, as you were talking about, is never, like, delivered to us on a silver platter. It's only a thing that is just shown in some shots.
Yeah, nobody talks about it.
Right, but then when they enter the city, Aang's talking about how earthbending is what gets them up, while the do they call them chutes?
You can call them chutes, you can call them slides.
But yeah, the slides take them down, right? And it's just, it makes sense in the world that they're working to establish here 4 episodes in. At this point, it feels like an absolutely applicable use of such a power. I have no problem believing that this would be attempted by somebody who can bend rocks at their will and make a whole system out of it.
It makes a lot of sense because it gets me thinking, not to like try to apply science to a fantasy show for kids, but where does the energy come from? Because what they're doing by raising rocks, right, is they're overcoming gravitational energy, right? They're putting a bunch of like potential energy into these rocks they're lifting, and then it is expressed by it falling to the ground, you know? So where does the energy come from that they're using to bend the rocks? And if you extrapolate out, it's like, of course, you think, where's the energy for all of the bending?
Right.
It's just the way he put it, you know, earthbending gets it up, gravity does the rest. And it's like, oh, okay, when he put it like that, It gets me thinking.
Conservation of energy problem. It also feels right to me that we have rock candy.
Bro, that got me in terms of like conservation of energy. I was like, where's all that mass coming from? Oh my god.
I'd be so mad, man, if I was a non-bender, having not tried to just bite it off.
Yeah, they like never tried to shatter it, apparently,
Right.
because it was soft enough to crunch with your teeth.
Yeah.
So if they just did a little body slam, a little belly flop, they could have cracked right out.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Sokka fell over though?
Yeah.
It survived. He only fell like 2 feet.
How about Boomy's like tunneling through the ground when he falls backwards
That was awesome.
and then spirals up next to Sokka and Katara? That was awesome.
There's something we both noticed for the first time in this episode was seeing Boomy at the end, Aang finally realizing it was his long-lost friend. The only person from his past he's met. He starts to well up with tears. And they're like hitting because he has like blue eyes or something, or you could barely see it. It's like one little part of the scene.
The lighting is what created enough contrast away from the teariness for me to never notice it.
Yeah, but it's like you can see. I think they should have honed in on that emotion a little more.
Yeah. As much as he's gone through recently, this is like awesome.
Yeah, he learned his master was killed, but he found his long-lost friend.
Yeah.
I think they should have harped on that more, because I'm only putting it together in my mind now, because that is the only person left from who was alive.
Yep.
That's crazy to think, too. Like, Iroh is not old enough to have been alive during Aang's time, right? Iroh's like 60 now. You can even call him 80. Like, I don't care what you call him, because if he's not over 100, he wasn't alive when Aang was.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. Like, these people lived their whole lives while he was frozen in ice.
My man Aang tries to talk his way out of the feast that they have with Boomy. And honestly, he absolutely nails it. He just talks his way through, gets his friend, starts backing up.
Okay, you caught me. I'm the Avatar. Doing my Avatar thing, keeping the world safe. Everything checks out. No firebenders here. So, good work, everybody. Love each other, respect all life, and don't run with your spears. We'll see you next time!
Talks just enough to almost get me thinking it's cool if you roll out of here right now.
This man's like master improv over here.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, let's sneak on out. It doesn't work, obviously.
Yeah. He had me going, though.
Yeah, love your neighbor.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. It was really nice to meet you. And we're out.
Yep. It's like when you go to leave a voicemail for somebody or something and you just...
It comes together just right.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect voicemail. Again, putting myself in the shoes of the person doing this, I would freaking love to slide down them things.
It seems so painful. It's terrifying.
They cause some serious damage.
It's kind of insane decision making on the slide. Because they go down the slide, right? And then, of course, the first package that intersects with them is a delivery of spears pointed forward.
Yep.
Kind of crazy. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you shoot an air blast to knock that thing away from you, right? But that's not what he does. He derails all of them from the slide. It just goes off-roading. That brings episode 4, The King of Omashu, to a close. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to always think like a mad genius.
And if it remotely looks like a slide, make sure you find a way.